She had a deformed pancreas that we did not know about. And she was under a lot of pain. And they say this pain is the worst pain you ever have. The worst pain. And once they figured it out the first time, and they tried to put some stents in to control the pain, to open up the ducts, they found out she was allergic to morphine, so she can't have any pain medicine. So the worst thing is to see your child laying in bed, writhing in pain, and there's nothing they can give her. That's terrible. She's been a week in the hospital, and we brought her home. The stent didn't work. Whenever she'd eat something, her pancreas would swell. They put her in pain. I'm not speaking for Carmen, this is me. We'd rush her to the hospital. They'd put her in the hospital. She'd stay a week. We'd pray. Then we'd bring her home. It'd last 8-9 months. But she was in pain in between too. When the pain got too bad, we rushed to the hospital. She'd stay a week or so. Then we'd pray. Then we'd bring her home. This went on and on. About a month ago, Pastor Dave showed us a chart on the board. He showed us our world. It was a circle. It had a cross on the outside, which was Jesus, represent Jesus. It had a throne on the inside, a bunch of stuff. The next one had a same thing, a world, but Jesus was inside a world, but he wasn't on the throne. The next one he showed was the world, and Jesus sat on it. I'll come back to that in a second.
Brad, I'm putting them up here, if you give me just a second.
All right, you can find it. I'll come back to it in a little bit.
It should.
I got a few more minutes.
Okay.
Sorry, David. Psalms 116. I love the Lord, for he heard my voice. He heard my cry for mercy, because he turned his ear to me. I will call him as long as I live. The cords of death entangled me. The anguish of the grave came upon me. And I was overcome by trouble and sorrow. Then I called on the name of the Lord. O Lord, save me. A few years ago, I took up this hobby of fishing because I love to eat and I love fish. So I thought, I'll take this hobby. It's good. So as I'm learning to fish, I'm loving it. Deep sea fishing, pond fishing, river fishing. I love fish. So one day, as I'm just killing some time before work, I go out to Commerce Pond, Juniors, out there by myself. It's a late October day. It's cold. No one knows I'm there. And I'm fishing up by some lily pads, and I get hung up. So I roll over it, unhook my line. There's this big hole over here. And I just love flipping that worm up there, let it come to that end and just fall off the lily pads. That batch just, boom, it just hits it. Oh, it's great. So I roll over there, throw my anchor out. Right before I get ready to sit down, I fall out of the boat. Give me my attention. Hit my back on the boat and knocks the wind out of me. I sat there, as I floated there a while, hanging on the side of the boat, trying to collect my thoughts. The water's cold. I was trying to just climb back in the boat. No big deal. But remember, I've got shoes on, pants, jacket. I'm fully loaded. I told my friends this afterwards, and they're a lot smarter than I am. They said, the first thing you should do is take all your clothes off, because clothes weigh extra at 80 pounds when you get wet. Think of that. So as you try to climb back in the boat, the boat just takes on more water and you can't get back in. So as I think of what to do, I look around and it's not that far to the side. Probably hear the stained glass window over there. I figure I'll just take the boat and drag it with me. It'll be fine. So I start swimming and pulling, swimming and pulling, pulling, swimming, swimming, pulling, pulling, swimming. I did it about 15 minutes. As I noticed, I didn't go anywhere. But I was tired. I mean, really tired. And I didn't realize until later that I had put the anchor down. Was someone trying to get my attention? I don't know. So I was getting quite tired now, and it was getting cold. I figured I'd just swim that way. It's not that far. Anybody can swim that distance. So I started swimming. I made it to the lily pads. I made about 3 strokes to the lily pads where they wrapped around my arms and legs and they pulled me under. I made it back out of the lily pads, back to the boat. And that's when the fear set in, and I was scared. I started thinking of my wife and my daughter. I knew I wasn't going to make it out of there. Then I thought of my Lord, and I prayed. I said, Lord, get me back in the boat. So I got on the side of the boat. You know what happened next? Dennis, know what happened next? Doubt came in. Doubt. I knew I couldn't get back in that way. So I swam around to the back of the boat. I figured I could stable it better, that I could stable it better. So I got on both sides of the boat, pulled and jumped, and landed right in the middle of the boat. Wow. You know what happened then? The boat sank. It disappeared. It was gone. It was gone by for 15, 20 minutes. Seemed like forever. Was somebody trying to get my attention? I don't know. When the boat reappeared, it come up upside down. And I was thankful that it was because I couldn't swim no more. My legs were cramping. It was getting hard to breathe. I climbed up on the boat, and by now the wind was blowing, and there was little white caps out there. So each time the wind blew, the boat would rock. And as it rocked, air burped out, and the boat sank a little bit more. Gave my attention. Gave my attention. I was in the water for over 2.5 hours that day. It was cold. About that time, a truck went by to the far end, clear back to the very back corner. Hank Beller has a lodge in the back. You can just barely see the guy get out of his truck and go into the lodge. I'm thinking he'll never see me. He'll never hear me. All of a sudden he came out, he got in his truck, and he started driving. It was cold and windy day, so there's no way to have his windows down. No way. So at that time, I called out to the Lord. Save me. And the guy heard me. And he called for help. I wasn't calling to the guy. I was calling to the Lord. He saved me. He saved me that day. Go back to my daughter, Brooke. June 17th, my wife sent me a text at work. It says, Brooke's in pain. Pray. I prayed. Father, healer, take the pain away. Next day she was fine. Next day she was fine. Praise God for that. But why didn't that happen earlier? All those years. Why did that happen? Yeah, that's fine. Back when Bert was going through this, the Lord wasn't on my throne. But you see, another thing was, we didn't run to the hospital either first. We sought the Lord first too. But he was on my throne now. This time he did get my attention. This time he got my attention. Right after this, I shared that during Sunday school one day. I hadn't shared it with my wife. We got home that night. She looked at me. She was crying. She was disappointed. She looked at me. She said, "How dare you?" How dare you? I put her through so much pain, my wife and my daughter, because I didn't have the Lord where he belongs. He's got my attention now. So please, in the coming days, make sure you have the Lord where he belongs, on the throne. Thank you.
I will live my life according to these beliefs. God does not exist. It's just foolish to think that there's an all-knowing God with a cosmic plan. That an all-powerful God brings purpose to the pain and suffering of the world is a comforting thought. However, it is only wishful thinking. People can do as they please without eternal consequences. The idea that I am deserving of hell because of sin is a lie meant to make me a slave to those in power. The more you have, the happier you will be. Our existence has no grand meaning or purpose. In a world with no God, there is freedom to be who I want to be. But with God, life is an endless cycle of guilt and shame. Without God, everything is fine. It is ridiculous to think I am lost and in need of saving. And that's how I felt before Christ opened my eyes, changed my heart, and reversed my thinking. I am lost and in need of saving. It is ridiculous to think everything is fine without God. Life is an endless cycle of guilt and shame. But with God, there's freedom to be who I want to be. In a world with no God, our existence has no grand meaning or purpose. The more you have, the happier you will be, is a lie meant to make me a slave to those in power. Because of sin, I am deserving of hell. The idea that people can do as they please without eternal consequences is only wishful thinking. It is a comforting thought, however, that an all-powerful God brings purpose to the pain and suffering in the world, that there is an all-knowing God with a cosmic plan. It's foolish to think God does not exist. I will live my life according to these beliefs.